Holy floppin' spit, you guys! Hail, good citizens, fellow Americans, brothers and sisters from sea to shining sea. I am Will DeWitt with Constitutional Warriors, and we are in week 6 of Re-Election Day. I must start with a hated disclaimer that if we talk about the 2020 election being fraudulent, we can expect to be banned by the various social platforms via which we use in trying to spread the word to you, fellow Americans. So, that's not what we are talking about today. What I will talk about is an article I read recently in cityjournal.org titled The Chump Effect, from which I will be quoting occasionally. The article starts with the account of a man confronting Elizabeth Warren about her $1.25 trillion plan for student loan forgiveness, asking as a hard-working father who saved for his daughter's college if he would get his money back, got the answer, of course not. His next words, "You're laughing at me. That's exactly what you're doing. We did the right thing, and we get screwed." Isn't this how you feel, brethren and sistren? You do your best to be a good citizen, to follow the rules, to not make waves, and not only do you watch others flout the system and get rewarded for it, but they turn around and stick their tongues out at you. If you try to protest, they shame, censor, and punish you. So, you bite your tongue, and the offenders only become that much bolder, and it happens again and again. This is the nature of the chump effect. They need you to shut up and comply while they cut corners, game the system, flout the regs, reap the benefits, and blue falcon you into oblivion, all the while looking you straight in the eye, daring you to say boo. And who is they? Oh, they're all over the place. We see them every day. The guy at work who gets away with extra smoke breaks, steals lunches from the office fridge, and spends half the day chatting with the bosses while you slave to the grind. The a-hole who flies up the shoulder and passes you and wants to cut back into traffic while you've been patiently crawling toward your exit for the past half hour. The person ahead of you at the cash register with top-of-the-line, brand-new clothes, shoes, jewelry, and cell phone who pays for a full cart with an EBT card, then stuffs the purchase into the trunk of a Benz with custom rims. Those are the everyday examples. But we've seen the chump effect increase by orders of magnitude in this year of 2020, haven't we? You've sweated out the summer, working hard with a diaper over your face, and the first time you peel it away momentarily to catch a breath of fresh air, some Karen 50 feet away spots you, runs up, tearing her mask off to scream in your face that you're an evil SOB, and if her granny dies, she's gonna blame you. 2 weeks to flatten the curve turned into months of unemployment, and you got to watch Nancy Pelosi show off her emergency stockpile of premium chocolate gelato. You may have loved ones who are living in fear, or worse, died afraid and alone without you there because that's the rules, only to find out later that COVID patients were warehoused in nursing homes with the most vulnerable. And we get to see the elite journalist class get to flout mask rules and attend parties and eat out with impunity. They can do it. After all, these are the people who can read a WikiLeaks dump and tell you what it doesn't mean. But if you look at it, you could be investigated. And they're right up there with the politicians who make these awful rules for us, and we see them violating their own regulations. Isn't that right, Governor Cuomo? Isn't that right, Governor Newsom? Isn't that right, Governor Whitmer? Dr. Fauci and his friends can go to a ball game without masks, while you can't even host a Thanksgiving dinner. While you had to shutter your business and go broke, Amazon, Walmart, Target, Costco, all those big box stores made a killing while you were trying to figure out how to set up an indoor dining area outside to run at 10% capacity on days when you were on code purple. You just get to watch in dismay as the movie studio next door gets to set up the same outdoor catering that you're not allowed to sell. And you can't go to church because that would mean singing. but there are guidelines for how best to operate a gay bathhouse or host an orgy while minimizing COVID transmission. Conservatives are considered super spreaders if they dare to hold a rally, but violent communists can gather by the tens of thousands without fear of infection because of the political wokeness of the Wu flu virus. Well, do you feel like a chump yet? And all that is just the lead-in to what I have to call the night of the big game, if you know what I mean. You went to bed thinking that the game was going solidly in the right direction, only to wake up to some demented fever dream from which we still suffer 6 weeks later. We've seen the graphs. We've heard the mathematicians and statisticians talk about the anomalies. We've got hundreds of affidavits. We have video of cases being pulled from under the table in the middle of the night. We call shenanigans while they say, President-elect. These are the same folks who spent 3 years trying to sell us on the phony PP dossier while they're doing their damnedest to ignore the fact that Representative Swellwall knows exactly what a Chinese spy tastes like. I could go on like this for hours, but you get my point. We just wanted to mind our business, but they insist on imposing rules for us that they blatantly flaunt in front of us. They impose a price on us that they are unwilling to pay. This is the chump effect writ large. I know you're angry. I know you're pissed off. You deserve to be. These walking garbage bags are pissing on your back while telling you that it's raining, and anger is the only logical response. Now, I'm not saying that our response is to go out and loot and burn down cities. That's been done already, and it weren't us what done it. But it is time to remember that swamps are full of leeches, mosquitoes, and other parasites, and the only way to deal with parasites is to drain the swamp. It's time we tell them straight up that they need us, not vice versa. It's time that we become activists, speak up, shout if need be, and make ourselves heard. Well, that's all we have time for today. Folks, if you're interested in learning more about us, check out the links below. I'm Will DeWitt, Constitutional Warriors. Help your neighbors and pray for America.